Okay, it's recording now. So you were saying a couple of days ago, I had COVID, presumably COVID-induced visions or hallucinations. Could you describe those? Thanks.
Yeah, I think it was around 2:30 in the morning, and you got up and you went to the bathroom, and when you came back, you said something about that the thermometer had read Z, and then it had read ZEE, and you wanted it to read ZEE because I think somehow that would like reprogram it or reset the program. And you wanted to explain this to me, and it did make sense, but you were umming a lot. You couldn't find the words for it, which was unusual for you. Then at one point you said you had to get up and do work on your computer, and you went to get up, but you couldn't stand up. So I had to come and lift you back into bed, and then about 15 minutes later you wanted to get up again, and I said, well, you weren't able to stand, and I had to lift you, and you were like, yeah, and then you settled down for a bit. And then I don't remember, but then this all happened within sort of an hour and a half. You told me that the cell phone was reading ZEE, and that was fine, and you were trying to get it to do that. It was just, and I said both times like that these things didn't make sense. You weren't making sense, and you were really struggling with words, which that was unlike you. But it was sort of the same story, but this time with the cell phone. And then you wanted to get up again, and you started to get up, and you couldn't stand up, so I had to lift you back into bed.
Did I fall or?
Well, it's like you went to go put your weight on your legs, and you couldn't support yourself, and you were sort of just holding on to the bed with like your elbows and your upper body, and I had to come and lift you into bed, like you couldn't really help yourself in. And then it was a little annoying because I was still sick and I was tired, and I was having to lift you, and the second time you weren't able to straighten yourself out, so you were like leaning diagonally across the bed, and I had to sort of like squish in because I was tired and I wanted to sleep. But I had to keep sort of talking you out of getting up, and then finally you went back to sleep, and then we slept for the night. But then, also, I don't remember if I said it this time. When you first woke up, you said, could I show you where the bathroom was? And then you're like, no, like you didn't need me to. You realized, you had said you thought we were at Dido's house. And then in the morning, the doctor's office called, and you were confused, and you also said you also thought we were at Dido's house. But then later in the day, you told me that you thought you were kind of having a dream about Dido's house, but it wasn't that. Either the houses that we know. It was like a dream house, like that we had never been to. So, and then after that, like once you had woken up in the morning, well, also I think your temperature had dropped down to like 101 or something. Then you didn't have any more hallucinations. But it was really bad that night because I was tired and I didn't have a lot of energy, and I was worried you were going to like fall, and
I felt internally in a really weird way that I had turned into a thing, because when I tried to stand, it's like the whole floor, everything was against me, kind of, and it's really hard to describe, but I just felt like almost like I was dying or I was turning into something, and that was the most frightening part of it, because I was losing my mind, but I had no control over my body, it seemed.
Well, it was also strange because, seriously, it was just like 15 to 30 minutes beforehand. You had gotten up and gone to the bathroom on your own, no problem. And then you came back and were telling me the crazy stuff about ZEE, and then it was like you couldn't stand up.
Well, thank you.
Uh-huh.